Hi, Missy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm okay, just getting over a bit of a cold right now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear that. A lot of people seem pretty sick right now,
Yeah,
but it's good to get it over with before the holidays.
yes, definitely.
Did you make it in okay today? Parking was okay and everything?
It was good.
Good. So last time I saw you, you shared a little bit with me about some feelings of anxiety you were going through, some panic attacks you were experiencing at school, in rotation. And I wanted to thank you for sharing all of that with me and kind of check in and see how you're doing now, if things have remained the same, gotten better at all.
Things have probably stayed about the same.
Yeah.
About the same. Especially, I think, as the semester is kind of getting closer to ending. It's just, I'm just thinking about next year and, the exams I'm going to be taking and really starting to get ready for my interviews for residency. So I think it's kind of making it really
Yeah, that's a lot to prepare for.
good.
Yeah. So I want to acknowledge how I think it's great that you've made it this far and you've done a really great job persevering in school despite what you've been feeling, and I think that shows that we can work on this together, I think, and help you get through the stress and the feelings of anxiety. So my goal for today was to kind of set some goals that we could do to start working on those feelings and getting you to feel better about school and moving forward, and just setting those together so that we're working towards what you really want to get out of our sessions together. Does that sound okay?
That sounds fine.
Okay. So if you don't mind my asking, what is it that you wanted to get most out of our time together? What is your overarching goal for working with me?
I think my overarching goal would probably be just to be able to just make it to the next step, which is getting to a residency program. And I think that would probably be it.
So I'm hearing that finishing this year of school and making it to your residency is your biggest priority right now, and anxiety and panic attacks are the thing that's getting in the way of you doing that, right? So getting to residency and finishing school, does that sound okay as a main goal for us to start out with? Great. So when we work on these goals today, I want to make sure that they are achievable for us, something that we can definitely work on together, and also measurable. And so in order to do that, I want to set some objectives that we can get you to do to kind of get you to reaching that goal. Does that sound okay?
That sounds fine.
Okay. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to write those down as we go, okay?
Okay.
So has there been anything that you've been able to do in the past to regulate some of those feelings of anxiety? Something you've enjoyed doing or that has made you forget about your anxiety in the moment?
I guess something I've done in the past would probably be, maybe there have been a few times I've been able to go like a yoga class, and that's been really helpful.
A yoga class?
Yeah.
That's something that you've enjoyed and that's helped release some stress?
Yeah.
Okay. And you'd be interested in doing that again to help regulate some of those feelings?
I think so. I just worry about having time to do it.
Right. When you attended those classes before, how often did you attend them?
I mean, it was like once in a while, like every few months.
Every few months.
Yeah, I think consistent.
Okay. Do you think that if you had been to those classes on a consistent basis, that might have been something to make you feel more calm, that would have helped in that time?
Maybe.
Okay, so it's something worth exploring now?
Sure.
Okay. But our concern is setting aside the time for it to make sure it's not interfering with school, right? Okay, so that can be one of our objectives, and I want to think about 3 or 4 of them, if that's okay, for this one goal of finishing school and getting to residency. Okay. Anything else that you've been able to do to kind of mediate those feelings of anxiety or help relax or help feel less stressed about school or more successful in school?
Maybe reading, like just for fun.
Yeah. What kind of things do you like to read?
I like a lot of fiction. Yeah.
Do you find that you've been able to do that lately?
Not really, but I mean, before everything got really crazy, I used to really love reading.
So that's something you were doing when you weren't feeling as much anxiety and pressure with time.
Exactly.
And about how much time did you spend on that when you were?
I mean, this was when I was a lot younger, so I would just spend hours.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
I didn't really watch a lot of TV. Just reading.
So reading, we can add as the second objective. What about anything in terms of like structuring your schoolwork so that it is less anxiety inducing for you? Do you find that your assignments themselves or the workload itself has an impact on your anxiety? Anything like exams or?
I mean, I guess the timing of exams kind of makes me nervous. Just, you only have such a set amount of time, and I feel like sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, it's hard for me to think clearly, so I'm not moving as fast through the exam as I should be.
And that's adding to the stress of taking those exams?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Are the time limits on those exams rigid, do you know? Do they offer any flexibility for students who may need extra accommodation?
I think so, but I just never explored it before.
Is that something that you'd like to possibly explore, or something that? Okay. So that's something that I could help find the resource for, and we could reach out together perhaps during our next session, get you some more time, maybe a space alone when taking exams so that the pressure is not so high. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, okay.
Anything else that you can think of that might help out those feelings or get you closer to your goal of graduating, getting to residency, or making you feel more prepared to do so? Okay. All right. Are you pretty comfortable identifying your feelings of anxiety when those happen and your panic attacks and being able to regulate those?
I guess I mean, like I said before, it's just kind of removing myself from the situation and trying to calm down. If my dad's available, going to see him.
And that's been helpful.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'd like to continue doing as a way to?
I mean, it's okay. I don't know if there's a better way, maybe.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're very aware of what's going on and putting yourself in a safe situation in order to deal with that. If you're okay with that, I think that reaching out for your family is a good way to cope with that, and just working on getting the number of times that happens to hopefully be reduced with these objectives, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we have one objective of doing yoga, one objective of reading, one objective of asking for accommodations, so the test taking is less anxiety provoking. Anything else we can think of together?
Not right now.
Okay. All right, I think that's a really good place to start. If we can, I'd like to move on to figure out, to make sure those are achievable by figuring how often you'd like to do those and how often you think we need to do those things to help out with the feelings of anxiety. Okay. But by still maintaining the need for time that you have to work with school and family.
Okay.
So you said that before you only did yoga once every while. Is there any way that you could sign up for a class that was on a more regular basis?
Maybe like on a weekend morning I could do that.
Okay, weekend mornings are a time where you're a little bit more free, is what I'm hearing. And how often would you say you would be able to do that, given your schedule?
Maybe twice a month.
Twice a month? Okay. That's a good place to start. And what about reading?
Reading. Maybe I could take some time out in the evening to read.
In the evening?
Yeah.
When you say in the evening, is that every evening, or you think a couple
Maybe
evenings in the week?
every evening if I could. Yeah.
Okay. And for how long do you think you might be able to do that without taking away from work or making you feel more stressed?
Maybe like an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Okay. And just so you know, these objectives, if they're not working or we're not finding them helpful, we can edit them at any point in time. If you decide that yoga is really helping and you'd like to integrate it more, we can definitely set a goal or an objective to do that more often. And conversely, if you find that reading every night is a little bit too much, we can always take that number down too, okay? And then for the last one, reaching out for accommodations, that's something that we can do together. So I'm not gonna set like a specific time for you, but we can also start to think about other ways that we can make handling schoolwork and handling exams more easy for you, and identifying where the feelings of stress around exams come from, and working on those in our future sessions. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So the last thing I'm gonna do is set us a kind of general timeline to think about how long we think we wanna do these activities for before we want to assess them again. Like I said, it could come in next week and we decide that it's not working, we can adjust them right away. Otherwise, we'll set a time to look back and see how they're affecting your feelings of anxiety and your panic attacks, okay? So does 4 weeks sound okay for our first kind of general assessment of how these objectives are helping out?
Sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about regarding the specific goal or what your feelings of anxiety have been lately?
Not really.
Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna wrap up with our goals for next week and to maybe explore another goal and work on setting objectives for that and talk about how implementing these have gone, and also to reach out together to hopefully get some of those accommodations for exam taking, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for coming in today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.